239 people, one plane, and no traces. What really happened aboard flight MH370? Will we ever know the truth? On March 8, 2014, at 12:41 a.m. local time, a Malaysia Airlines Boeing 777-200ER took off from Kuala Lumpur, headed to Beijing. It was a routine flight, one that was carried out daily without major complications. On board were 227 passengers and 12 crew members, representing 14 different nationalities. Most of the passengers were from China, but there were also citizens from Malaysia, Australia, France, New Zealand, and other countries. None of the travelers expected their flight to end so mysteriously. Approximately 40 minutes after takeoff, at 1:19 a.m., First Officer Farik Abdul Hamid transmitted the last radio message to Malaysian Air Traffic Control. His words were, "All right, good night." A few seconds later, as the plane was about to enter Vietnamese airspace, something unusual happened. Contact with the plane suddenly ceased. Within minutes, the Boeing 777 disappeared from civilian radars as if it had never existed. At that moment, no one realized that one of the most mysterious stories in modern aviation was beginning to unfold. An immediate search operation was launched. The Malaysian Rescue Service initially assumed that the plane must have crashed north of its planned route, in the South China Sea region. In the first phase of the search, several countries were involved, including Malaysia, China, Vietnam, Australia, and the United States. Ships, planes, and advanced technological equipment scoured the region for wreckage. In the first few days, the media was flooded with speculation about possible causes of the disappearance. Accident, malfunction, hijacking? Nothing seemed certain. However, day by day passed, and the search yielded no results. In the absence of any physical traces of the plane, various theories began to emerge. The first hypothesis considered by investigators was the possibility of a hijacking. Hijackings were known in aviation history, some ending in long-standing mysteries, such as the case of D.B. Cooper. Could MH370 have been hijacked and rerouted to a secret location? There was speculation that the plane might have been hijacked by a terrorist organization intending to use it in an attack similar to that of September 11th. Other theories focused on the possibility of a technical malfunction. The Boeing 777 is one of the most technologically advanced passenger planes in the world, but no machine is entirely immune to technical issues. Experts suggested there could have been a fire on board or cabin decompression, which could have caused the crew and passengers to lose consciousness, while the plane continued flying on autopilot until it ran out of fuel. This hypothesis, known as the ghost flight theory, posits that the aircraft could have continued flying without human intervention. However, the most puzzling hypothesis, which gained traction after analyzing data, was the possibility of a deliberate change in the flight path by someone from the crew. The Malaysian military radar recorded that after disappearing from civilian radars, the plane made a sudden left turn, heading west instead of continuing its journey towards Beijing. This sparked a wave of speculation about whether one of the pilots could have deliberately altered the course, leading the plane into the unknown. The key moment in the investigation came when satellite signals were analyzed. Although the plane had disappeared from radars, it was still sending so-called pings, signals to Inmarsat satellites. While these signals were limited and did not contain precise location data, they allowed investigators to determine that the aircraft continued flying for several hours after disappearing from radars. Inmarsat analysts conducted a thorough analysis of the signals, which led to the identification of two possible routes MH370 could have taken. One corridor led north towards Central Asia, and the other south over the Indian Ocean. After ruling out the northern route, which would have passed over densely populated areas where there was no evidence of the plane's presence, the search focused on the southern corridor. The search over the Indian Ocean, however, was challenging and costly. It is one of the most remote and least explored regions of the world. To locate the wreckage, advanced technologies like sonar and remotely operated underwater vehicles were used. The search covered a vast area of more than 120,000 square kilometers, but despite efforts, no traces were found for a long time. It was not until July 2015 more than a year after the disappearance of MH370, that a breakthrough occurred. A piece of the plane's wing was discovered on the French island of Réunion in the Indian Ocean. This fragment, known as a flaperon, was identified as part of a Boeing 777, which confirmed it was from MH370. While this was a breakthrough in the investigation, it also raised new questions. Why had only one fragment been found? What happened to the rest of the aircraft? In subsequent years, a few more parts of the plane were found drifting on various islands in the Indian Ocean, but the wreckage still remained undiscovered. Although further investigations tried to determine what exactly happened to flight MH370, the full truth has yet to be revealed. Numerous conspiracy theories have also emerged around the disappearance of MH370. Some suggested that the plane was hijacked by a third party, while others claimed that the missing flight fell victim to a terrorist attack, although no organization has claimed responsibility for the incident. Some people have speculated about extraterrestrial forces, suggesting the plane might have been abducted by unknown technology. While these theories sound like science fiction, for some, they are an attempt to understand the unexplained circumstances of the disappearance. One of the most intriguing theories centers on Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, who was piloting the aircraft. Some investigators suggested that he might have deliberately changed course and caused the crash. An analysis of his home flight simulator revealed that he had simulated a flight similar to the route MH370 ultimately took. However, the captain's family and close associates denied these allegations, stating that he had no reason to cause such a tragedy. Despite numerous theories, advanced searches, and the partial discovery of wreckage, one question remains unanswered. What really happened aboard MH370? Was it a tragic technical malfunction? Or perhaps a deliberate act by one of the crew members? MH370 is not just a story of a missing plane. It is a tragedy that affected hundreds of families whose loved ones disappeared without a trace. For these families, every day is a struggle for the truth, seeking answers to questions that remain unknown. Will we ever know what happened that night? One thing is certain: the mystery of MH370 will remain one of the greatest enigmas of the 21st century. What do you think? Do you believe we will ever uncover the truth about MH370? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay updated with the latest aviation mysteries.